In the soft glow of their cozy apartment, Roger returned home later than usual, the weight of the day's work evident in his stride. Expecting the warm embrace of his wife, he was met instead with an unusual silence. The aroma of dinner filled the air, but Selena stood at the kitchen counter, turning her back to him, hands busy yet movements tense. She was wearing a stunning red sari, its silk fabric hugging her curves in all the right places. The pallu draped elegantly over her shoulder, revealing a hint of her midriff and making Roger's heart skip a beat. As he approached her, he couldn't help but notice the way the sari accentuated her waist, making it seem even narrower than it was. The fabric seemed to shimmer in the light, drawing his attention to her every move. He felt a surge of desire as he took in the sight of her, his mind racing with thoughts of how beautiful she looked. Sensing her displeasure, Roger quietly freshened up, his mind racing for a way to bridge the gap. He approached her gently, his arms encircling her waist from behind, pulling her close. "Selena," he murmured, his lips brushing the nape of her neck, "I'm sorry for being late." His hands slid over her hips, feeling the soft fabric of the sari beneath his fingers. She stiffened at his touch, a soft sigh escaping her lips. "You didn't call," she replied, her voice tinged with hurt. But as she spoke, she leaned back into him slightly, allowing him to hold her closer. Roger turned her slowly to face him, his eyes locking onto hers, filled with remorse. "I should have," he admitted, his fingers gently caressing her cheek. As he touched her face, he couldn't help but notice how beautiful she looked in that moment, like a goddess from ancient mythology come alive before him. "Let me make it up to you," Roger whispered softly as they stood there embracing each other. His lips brushed against hers, a gentle caress which ignited flame within them. Without breaking eye contact, he led Selena towards their bedroom. The room had been transformed into an oasis by twilight hours. Lavender petals floated on water surface, creating hypnotic melody. Selena's body reacted viscerally as Roger drew closer. She had wanted this since morning. Roger stopped for a moment when they were few feet away from the couch, took deep breath, gazed adoringly at Selena, noticing every curve. As the evening unfolded, Roger and Selena found themselves entwined on the couch, the earlier tension replaced by a comforting silence. The soft hum of the city outside their window served as a gentle backdrop to their shared moment. Roger's fingers traced idle patterns on Selena's hand, his touch light yet reassured, sending shivers down her spine. Selena's eyes fluttered closed as she leaned into his touch, her skin tingling with anticipation. She felt his warm breath on her neck, making her skin prickle with desire. His lips brushed against her ear, sending a wave of heat through her body. "I love the way you smell," he whispered, his voice husky with desire. She smiled, her fingers tracing the line of his jaw, feeling the rough stubble beneath her fingertips. "I love the way you make me feel," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Roger's hands slid up her arms, his fingers dancing across her skin, leaving trails of fire in their wake. He pulled her closer, his lips inches from hers. The air was thick with tension as they hovered on the brink of a kiss. The room around them faded into darkness as they surrendered to their desires. The only sound was their ragged breathing and the beating of their hearts. They were lost in a world of sensation and pleasure. The world around them melted away as they lost themselves in the intensity of their passion. As they broke apart for air, Selena's eyes locked onto Roger's, filled with a deep longing. "I want you," she whispered, her voice trembling with desire. Roger's eyes burned with intensity as he pulled her closer. "I want you too," he replied, his voice low and husky. The room around them faded into darkness as they surrendered to their desires. The only sound was their ragged breathing and the beating of their hearts. They were lost in a world of sensation and pleasure. In this moment, nothing else mattered but the two of them and their all-consuming passion for each other. To continue hearing this story, comment your interest, share and subscribe.